fast forward to 2021.
Mm-hmm.
Your golf career kind of got put on pause unexpectedly,
Mm-hmm.
and you were hit with probably the craziest news that you could have ever imagined.
Yeah.
Do you mind sharing your daughter Grace's story with us and
Yeah.
how you learned about her diagnosis?
Yeah, sure. I guess 2021, I was playing a tournament in Dallas, and my daughter was 10 months old, and I had come back from maternity leave, I think 2 months prior to that.
That's pretty
And
fast.
it was fast,
Yeah.
and it was just probably a little premature, and my bones just ached for competition. I
Mhm.
wanted to be back in the mix, and I really worked on my fitness and trying to get the body back after carrying a child in my body. And, my husband and I the three of us were traveling, obviously, all over the place, not internationally yet. So he was caddying for me at a tournament in Dallas, and Grace was in daycare. And this was 2 days before she turned 10 months old. And we picked her up from daycare. I had played horribly, missed the cut, whatever. They said that she had a low-grade fever, but it wasn't anything out of the ordinary. Kids get fevers,
Sure.
right? Took her home, and she vomited, but it wasn't, like I said, kids vomit,
Sure.
right? She had a good night's sleep, and then the next day we were just playing in the hotel, and I scooped her up, and it was nap time, and I had her on my chest, and she fell asleep, but her naps were probably 30 minutes, 40 minutes, but an hour passed, and she was very still on my chest, and I thought it was weird, but it wasn't anything alarming. She didn't have a fever. None of the signs pointed to that something was wrong. But hour 2 came, and I started kind of wondering what's happening. I kind of tried to wake her up. It was time to give her a bottle, whatever.
Sure.
And I kind of looked at her, and I saw this grimace on her face, and she was in pain. And at that point, she didn't communicate other than with coos and,
Sure.
like a 10-month-old would. But, I tried to get her to come to, and she couldn't open her eyes. She had a little grimace in her brow, and I kept saying, Grace, 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 hey, wake up, wake up. And she started letting out these little groans, and I could tell that she was in pain. And I thought, okay, well, let's give her some Tylenol and see if she kind of perks up. It didn't happen. And then all of a sudden, I went from 0 to 100. I'm like, we need to take her to the ER.
Sure.
And there was a children's hospital, probably a small children's urgent care, probably 3 miles away. And that was the longest ride of my life because she's in the car seat, Pete's driving, I'm frantic.
Yeah.
And she's just this tiny little blob in a car seat. And she just kept making this noise that was very unusual. And we got to the hospital, and they were like, what's happening? And I said, it's very unlike her to be very lethargic and non-responsive like this. So at that point, I'm thinking, okay, well, I wonder what's happening, and let's have them run tests. And that day was the last time that I saw Grace pre-brain injury. And the brain injury, she was basically seizing in her sleep nonstop.
Oh, wow.
She was having seizure after seizure, and that was why she couldn't open her eyes. That was why she was catatonic. She couldn't move anything. And that's when they did, a lumbar puncture, they did an EEG, they did an MRI, all within 4 hours. So within that span of 4 hours, I went from being a mom on tour to, am I going to have to plan a funeral here? And I just remember thinking life just changes like that. This is bad. I thought I wasn't going to cry, but
it's okay.
That led to a month in the ICU in Dallas. And man, I have gone through so much therapy, and why am I crying?
No, Jane, it's okay. It's okay.
Woo. Okay.
Trust me, I'll be crying too. I know it. We have tissues here. Just tell me when.
But yeah, it was a month in the ICU. But even at that point, it didn't seem real that she was going to wake up different. And in my heart, I knew that she was going to wake up, but I didn't know what version of Grace would come out on the other side. And it was a completely different kid. Sorry.
That's okay.
Bet your followers didn't expect this.
No,
Sorry.
I'm just, I think one thing that I think is so beautiful is looking at you on social media. Your bio says, "This profile is a love letter to my beautiful disabled daughter, Grace."
Uh-huh.
And when you look at all your posts, they truly are diary logs. And you say that you're not into school and you're not book smart and all these things, but Jane, you write so beautifully.
Oh, thanks.
Like, you write so beautifully, and
it comes from trauma. It's all rooted in trauma.
Yes. But you convey your emotions so well and so real and just so raw that anyone can read your post and just absolutely feel gut-wrenched and beside you. And I mean, just even me, and just the other night when I was catching up and going through your page, the amount of sobbing that I did, just because the way you write, it's just so real. Like, it makes me want to like hug you through a screen, and I can't imagine how many people that you've touched and people have reached out to you through this.